Okay, this is the next video in our continuation of our AWS series. And in this video, we will look on the next service, that is the Certificate Manager. So this is also very useful service. So let's see like few things why we need the Certificate Manager and what actually it is. So like the short form is like ACM. ACM is like AWS and then Certificate Manager. So it basically like manage all the certificates. But what all kind of certificate it is managed. So it is basically managed like if when you open any website, right? So sometimes you see like the website is not secure, like if it is open using HTTP, but if it is open using HTTPS, then you say okay, the certificate is like, oh, sorry, the website is secure. So this website, like the AWS website, is secure because it's open using HTTPS. And if you click on this log icon, you could see connection is secure. And there is a one certificate icon. See, along with the cursor, there is a one certificate icon, and you can see like all the certificate information, like detailed certification path, where that like a particular certification is like is stored. And this certificate valid till like 2/2/2023. After this certificate will expire, or maybe they will get like renew the certificate at their end. So all the certificate information like, so this certificate manager is basically you can see a kind of a repository which maintains these kind of certificates like at their end. So AWS is provided a kind of a facility to us to 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 generate the certificate, uh, and like to SSL certificate, and to link those certificate with your website, so that your website also not like treat as an HTTPS, so that you can like secure your website. Like, okay, so this is service which lets you easily provision, manage and deploy SSL certificate, SSL or TLS. SSL is the old term, TLS is the new technology like certificates. So you can like easily create the certificate, so you don't need to like go to any other website and ask for the like any other service, because the AWS itself is providing you the facility to generate the certificate, and you can like link with your website, right? So in this way, like you can like encrypt your website, like you can, along with that, like this ACM is AWS Certificate Manager, is providing you the both the public and the private certificates. So public certificate is free of cost. So this is very good advantage. And if we go to the AWS free tier and click on it, and if we select certificate manager, yeah, AWS certificate manager, and it's a free tier, but it's a private CA. Private CA means like only the private certificate, if you issued, those are free for 30 days, and after that you need to pay. But the public certificates are like totally free. If you use the public certificate, that are totally free. So let's suppose if you are creating your own website and you are planning to deploy onto the like AWS server, right, AWS cloud. So, and you want to make your website secure as well, so that like everyone open your website using HTTPS instead of HTTP. So you can use the public certificate, you don't even have to pay anything extra, right? So you can like just come to we will see how to do that. Go to the certificate manager and like generate the certificate and link it to your website. And the best thing is that it will automatic renewal. So I could show you now. So if you click on it, and if you go to the connection is secure, click on the certificate. So here like validity is like till 2023, right? So after that this will get like renewed by them, right? So public certificate like that will get automatically renewed. So once you deployed your like website, so you don't need to worry like you need to renew your certificate. It will automatically get like renewed once it is free. This is like one facility, it is free, and along with that, like it's automatically get renewed. And it integrate with the load balancer, CloudFront. So we will see like what all these. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, so how your generally website works. So because first, if we know the architecture, architecture, if the architecture picture is clear, then we can easily do anything on the like AWS cloud. If the architecture is not clear, then we can like we are even not sure like what we are doing. We are just creating the service, we are attaching it, but we are not sure why we are attaching it, right? So the architecture should be important. So how the generally the architecture will work? So generally, if you have to deploy your website, let's suppose you write your own code like index.html, and simple website index.html, and you want to deploy to your own EC2 instance on Apache server or any Nginx server or on Apache server. So let's suppose you deploy the Apache server on your EC2 and you deploy your EC2 website on the Apache server. So you just created one EC2. On the top of the EC2, inside the EC2, you log in into the EC2 instance, you install the Apache server, and then you within the like HTTP HTML folders, you put HTTP folder like a bare www.html folder, you put your index.html, and then you can like copy your public IP address of EC2, and then you can browse that, and your index.html like page will be visible. All right, so this is one way, but in practical, we like we not do the deployment in this way, right? So in practical, how we do, we generally it is recommended for the high availability. All right, for the high availability, we deploy our website in multiple AG. So like we will create one EC2 in zone 1, and we will create another EC2 in zone 2, and we will deploy our website on both the zones, so that it should be highly available. All right, so that let's suppose if this zone got down, so my user got like redirected to this zone. So let's suppose you created one EC2, you created this EC2, you deploy your website on this EC2, you deploy your website on this EC2 as well, second EC2, and this EC2 has different IP address, this EC2 has different IP address. So you are not going to share the IP address of the like EC2 or to the user, because user, if you like you like how user like generally browse the website. So user generally browse the website like www.google.com. They are not going to browse your website using the IP address, right? So even if you give the IP address, so which IP address you will give? Either you will give this IP address or this IP address. So you have to give the both IP address. So it means you are telling the user, okay, my website is deploying on 3 EC2 server, and you can note this 3 EC2 instances. And whenever your EC2 terminate and your new EC2 will come, and the new public IP address will come, and then again you will going to share. So this is not the way in practical we will work. So but it will like we create the auto scaling group at the back end, or you can say like manual to EC2 group. Generally we not create the manual EC2 group, we will create the auto scaling group. So within the auto scaling group, we'll create one template, and that template automatically create the EC2 instance, right? And in different ages. So one age is and second age is this. So we deploy our website. Now our website is available on both the EC2 instance, and then what we will do, how the user will know I have to go to this or go to this, because we are not going to share like the IP address of this EC2. So what we will do, we will create a load balancer. So because the load balancer is one of the server, you can say we will put one server in front of the EC2, and you can say this is the common like common IP address or common DNS. Okay, this DNS we can share with the user. That is the common DNS. Whenever the user will hit this DNS, like automatically website like one hit will go to this and another hit will go to this. If we have the 50-50 weightage, if it is 100 weightage, then it will go to this, and then if this zone is down, then automatically like it will route it to this zone. So we have to attach the load balancer. But the load balancer had the DNS is like something amazon.aws.com, right? But generally we not share this DNS with the user. We generally like purchase our own domain. Let's suppose like www.facebook.com. So facebook.com is their own domain. They have purchased from any website like godaddy.com, or from even from the AWS website or any website. They have purchased their own domain, and we share that domain with the user, right? So what we, so let's do only. So I have created already one video on the EC2 load balancing. right? So in which like I created two EC2 instance, and then I attach the load balancer and created the target group. But in this video, I'm not going to spin up two EC2 instance. I will spin up only one EC2 instance and will attach the load balancer. Attach the load balancer with that. So you can like go through this video if you have to understand the load balancing concept. So just search like AWS load balancer by Smanchana Nakana on like YouTube. You will able to see this like video. Okay. So let's create the EC2 instance and let's attach the load balancer. First to understand the concept. So if I go to the EC2 and create the EC2 and launch the EC2 instance. So we are using the free tier, so we will use everything within the free tier only. So number of instances only one. And let's give any name my EC2 instance. Okay. We have to use the major Linux, and that is also free tier. And T2.micro, that is also free tier. Key pair, we don't want to use the key pair, proceed without a key pair, because we don't want to log in into the EC2 instance. So that's why we are not attaching the key pair. Network setting, let's create a security group. We don't want to log in into the EC2 instance, so we don't want SSH. So let's remove that. We want HTTP traffic from the internet. As of now, I am going attaching the HTTP, not the HTTPS, right? And that's it. And launch the instance. Oh, sorry, I forget to attach the user data. Anyhow, once it will like spin up, I will attach the user data, because this is a normal like EC2 instance. This doesn't have any website. So one option is like we can like attach the user data at that time. So this is initializing. So if I select this, if I have the public IP address, if I copy this and browse this, I don't have anything here, right? Because nothing is hosted on my EC2, right? So let's wait for the few seconds because it is doing the status check. So once it by 2 health checks completed, so our EC2 is fully up and running. So we will attach the instance setting. We have to select the EC2 instance. We have to attach the basically user data. So instance setting, edit user data. So under the copy user data, no, we don't have the user data. I think we can't attach the user data after that. So let's do one thing. Let me terminate this EC2 instance. And let me create one more EC2 instance. My EC2 instance, and everything is like that, like a key pair, proceed without a key pair. Okay, create a security group. We don't want SSH, we want only HTTP. Okay, go to the advanced details. So last time we forget to click on the advanced details. So under the advanced data, we have the user data. So we have one script which will like spin up one website. So that script is doing nothing, like it's just like updating all the packages, because it is uh, and then it will use installing the HTTPD means installing the Apache. Then it will start and enable it, so that like every time when the EC2 gets like a reboot, my Apache server will automatically get started. Then it is like assigning one user, then it is just writing some content to the where www.html. So everything I have explained in my like load balancing video. So just launch the instance, view all instances. So now instance is going to launch. So till now what we have doing is we have launched our one. So I am not going to install the two EC2 instance. You can even like spin up the two EC2 instance with same like one in like this zone and another in some different zone. So it is up and running. If I copy the public IP address, it is like it is not like going anywhere. I think we have to wait so that it get fully up because it is still initializing. Let's wait. Yeah, so now the website is up. But if you see, this website is not secure, right? So this website is not secure. So because there is no certificate attached. Anyhow, like we are just deploying our website to the EC2. We never share the IP address with the user. So we have to connect the load balancer. Load balancer is because like if we have the multiple like instances, so that the load gets balanced. So let's assume we have the multiple instances and let's create the load balancer. So go to the load balancer, create a load balancer. We have to use the application load balancer because this is our application and this is using the HTTP protocol because we are accessing our website using HTTP or HTTPS. So we have to use the application load balancer. We can use the classic load balancer as well because classic load balancer also support the HTTP. It also support the HTTP, HTTPS. So we can use the classic load balancer, but classic load balancer is going to decommission very soon. So we are not going to use the classic load balancer. We can use the like application load balancer. So click on create and give any name my load balancer, and it is internet facing and IPv4 VPC is okay. So where is our website is running? Our website is running in so 2x2 health check pass. Our website is running in availability zone 2C. All right. So here, like select at least one availability zone and one subnet for each zone. We recommend at least two availability zone. Like it is just like where the load balancer like will run 2C, 2B, 2A. You can select like everything. And then security group. So let's remove the default security group. We have the security group launch wizard 1 or 2. Which one we have created? I think because we have spin up two EC2 instances, so the later one is launch wizard 2. Let's remove the default one. And now what we are doing is like whenever user click on this DNS, it should route to our EC2 instance. So whenever click on the user HTTP protocol 80, it will go to some EC2 instance. So let's create a, generally we create a group. Why we have to create a group? Because we have multiple EC2 instances. We have to wrap all these EC2 instances in a group, a kind of a folder. So let's create a group. So group is like the destination instances only. So let's give some name, my target group, and protocol is like HTTP and port is 80. Our website is running on 80, and go to the next. So which EC2 instance we have to attach? So if we have three EC2 instance, we can select all. Right now we have only one, so I am like creating a target group as only one, include as a pending below, and create target group. So right now I've just created the target group. No load balancer is attached. Basically what I did is I put all the EC2 instances in some folder, and then I attached that folder to the load balancer. So EC2 instance. So now I can refresh here and select my target group. So target group has been attached, right? And we can create a load balancer. So now instead of like browsing my this IP, I will browse using the load balancer rather than the this particular IP. So view load balancer. So it is in the provisioning state, but it gave us the some DNS name. So if you copy this DNS name and browse this, Right now it is not available because it is still in the provisioning state. So when it's active, we can see using the load balancer, we can accessing our website. So basically earlier our website is on EC2. From IP we can able to access, but we don't want to share the IP, so we put the load balancer. Why we put the load balancer? Because if we have the multiple EC2 instance, but for the demo purpose I put only one EC2 instance, but we are assuming we have the two. So I put the load balancer so that it can share the load. So now I can't share the IP address of the EC2. I have to share the IP address of the load balancer. So let's wait. I think it is still provisioning. So let me pause the video. So my load balancer is active. So now if I copy this DNS and browse the website, I'm able to see the same website which I am using the IP. Okay, so that's done. So basically what I did is I deploy my website on EC2 and then attach the load balancer, and from the load balancer I'm able to website. But this is also not secure. All right, there is no certificate attached. All right, so how I can make this website as secure? So that if anyone even give the HTTP, it should go to the HTTPS automatically, or if anyone give HTTPS, it should able to browse. Because if I give here HTTPS, first thing is the security group is not attached, so it is not going to load because it is still running, searching, but it is not going to load because we don't have the HTTPS. All right, so this website is not secure. So to make it secure, we have to attach the certificate, and to create the certificate, we have this service that is the certificate manager. All right, so generally certificate manager we attach it with the load balancer. Okay, so this is done. So now what we have to do is we have to go to the certificate manager. So if I open the certificate manager, let me close this. So now we have to go to the certificate manager. So this is one of the service AWS Certificate Manager, which we can create our certificate. So we can create our public certificate. We can create the private as well. So public is free. So we will request a certificate. So you have to select the request a public certificate. Even this is disabled because we have a different option. So now we have to request a public certificate. So if you click on the next, so here it is asking the domain name, right? So domain name is because ideally we are not even going to share this URL with my user. Right, I am not going to share this URL. Okay, go to this my load balancer hyphen some number .eu-2.elb.aws. So I am not going to share this load balancer this DNS with the user. How can user remember this long URL? Generally the URL is look like www.google.com, facebook.com, something.com. All right, so what we have to do is we need some domain, right? Because if we want this website should run on www.demo.com, so we have to purchase that domain www.demo.com, right? That is just a domain, but at the back end we have to attach, that is just a domain, right? Just a simple a name, right? But our certificate should be attached with the load balancer. So what we do is when the user will go to that www.something.com, it will go to the route 53. Route 53 is one of the service which will take care of all the domain things. And then from the route 53, we have to do some settings so that it should know where I have to go. It will go to the load balancer, and as soon as it will go to the load balancer, because with the load balancer IP address, we have attached the certificate, so it will automatically use the HTTPS. So if you click on the AWS certificate, it is asking the domain name. So you have to open the route 53. So if you open the route 53, so right now, if we go to the registered domain, we don't have any domain, because to purchase the domain, if you click on the registered domain, so it is $12, I think, per year. So let's suppose if I do Sumanshu And if I do check, so al.com, all these like domains are available. So I can purchase any domain, like these are the different price, like Sumanshu Ninja, Sumanshu.org. So Sumanshu.org is available, Sumanshu.tv is available. So I can purchase this. So first we need to purchase our domain. So we are not going to purchase our domain without purchasing the domain. We will like just see like how to actually basically which option we need to select. All right. So what we have to do is we have to enter our domain. So let's suppose our domain is sumanshu.org. Let's suppose our domain is this sumanshu.org. So we have to like create a certificate, we have to enter the domain name. And then we have the DNS validation. DNS validation means like there are two validation. One is the DNS validation, one is the email validation. So DNS validation, it will check in our route 53 uh, whether this domain is available or not. Email validation is like one email is come and we have to approve. So let's request it. So if I click on it, so it says like pending validation. All right, this is not going to work anyhow, I am telling you, because smanshu.org is not the registered domain. So this is not going to work. I am just telling you how we have to attach the HTTPS, like how to attach the certificate with our load balancer. So let's suppose you have some domain, your registered domain. Click on the AWS Certificate Manager, request the certificate by entering the domain. So the request will go to the pending action. So if you click on it, it says the status of the request certificate is pending action. Further action is needed to validate. So what further action? If you click on it, it says that it says something like before the major certificate issue, like it is basically checking in your route 53. So because whenever any user will come, first the request will go to the route 53 into the image. So if I go to the route 53 console, so we have to go to the hosted zones. So create a hosted zone, and here we have to give our domain. So let's suppose our domain is manchu.org, and let's suppose it is a public hosted domain. So let's suppose this domain is we have purchased, but we have not purchased. So this is not going to work. So let's just, we are assuming we have purchased the domain and we have created a zone. So created the hosted zone. So now hosted zone is created and it give me two things. One is the name server and one is the SOA. So name server is basically on which domain, like 1 second, on which domain, like this mm, my actual domain is registered. So those are the domain domain server, right? And similarly, like for SO is basically like a type of which will hold when the website is last updated, when the website is registered. So if you go to the Google and you see NS and SOA DNS records type, so it will give you some information. So SOA is like the state of authority and NS is the name server. So what is SOA record? So as the records are required by the FT standard, and name of the primary DNS server of the JNE server should be the matching namespace. So which DNS server? So it is basically like stored some information. So yeah, here the state of authority record store information about a domain, about the email address of the administrator, when the domain was last updated, and so many things like it stores. So SOA record is basically store like all this information. Who is the admin? Who is the like when this domain is last updated, when it is registered, right? And this name server is basically, so if you go to that NS, NS is the name server. So without name server records, a website would not work. Name record is stored by the top level. So NS is basically where is actually this domain is on which server this domain is hosted. So these are the by default. So we can update this because our sumanshu.org is not even like actual domain. All right. So first we have to create our hosted zone. So now this is still in the pending state, right? because it is have to do the validation. So if you click on it, it says create a record in root 53, and it says create a CNAME record, like domain is manchu.org, and it will have to create the CNAME. So if you create a record in the root 53 and just click on the create record, automatically it will create a record. Right now it has 2 records. If you refresh it, now it has the 3 records, or you can manually create it. So 3 record is like here, like this CNAME and CNAME, and here is CNAME value, whatever here it is showing na, like CNAME and the CNAME value. All right, so we have like registered here. So let's suppose if sumanshu.org is our actual name, so we have to do the one host. We automatically see the entry here, or we don't if see the entry here, we can like create a hosted job, and then we can do the entry to if we have to attach the certificate with our load balancer. So let's suppose our certificate is issued. So once the certificate is issued, now here the status will become issued. Right now it is pending validation, because it is not even going to validate, because this is not the actual domain. So how it is going to validate? All right. So let's suppose status is issued. We are just assuming. So now we have to attach with our load balancer, because I have told you certificate should be attached with the load balancer, because domain is just a nothing, a name. Right. At the back end, it is going to call this DNS, and this DNS should be attached with the certificate. If this DNS is going to attach with the certificate, automatically the domain will show in the HTTPS. So what we have to do, if we go to the listener, right now listener is HTTP, right? So listener is HTTP, but we want HTTPS. Right. So if we add the listener, add listener, and we have to add HTTPS. So by default is port 443. So anyone click on HTTPS here with port 443, what should be the action? It will forward the request to my target group. To my target group means as soon as anyone come with the HTTPS, it should go to the EC2. EC2 is our target group. All right. So our target group. But as soon as I selected the HTTPS, it is asking me the certificate. Attach the certificate. You have to attach the certificate. So here it is asking, okay, where your certificate is located. If it is in the ACM, ACM means Certificate Manager, or from IM, or you have to manually import. So we have in our ACM. Right now we don't have the certificate, because certificate is not issued. So once it get issued, you will able to see the certificate here. So as soon as you able to see the certificate here, just click that certificate and add it. So as soon as you add it, you will able to browse your website using the HTTPS as well. So as soon as you click on the HTTPS, you will able to see the like website using the load balancer only. Like right now I am telling you the load balancer. So if you go to the load balancer and browse with HTTPS, you will able to see the log icon, like this log icon, and using the HTTPS, right? But what will happen if someone will like enter my website using the HTTP? I want if someone will enter my website using the HTTP, it will automatically route it to HTTPS. So if you go to the load balancer, let me cancel this. And if I go to the HTTP and edit it, so let's suppose I don't want here HTTP80, right? If I hosting my website, I'm making our website as secure, I don't want HTTP80, but I want if someone enter the HTTP80, it will automatically route it to, it is no, it like if someone enter like, so let's suppose if I enter facebook.com, all right. So Facebook, or let's suppose I enter HTTP. So I am enter HTTP www.facebook.com, and if I enter, it will automatically route it to HTTPS. See, I enter HTTP, but it will automatically enter to the HTTPS. So how it is happening? So what they want is, if someone enter HTTP itself, it should not like reject their website. It should not show the website is not available. So that's why they added the port HTTP. But they want if someone has added HTTP, it should redirect to the HTTPS. So what we have to do, we have to click on the edit. All right, and here, and we have to there is one more action. So this is the forward to, yeah. So here there is a why we are unable to select the add action. So let's remove it. So add action. So we have to basically redirect our website to the HTTPS with 443, and so it's not redirected. So 1 second, there is a like one option, I forget that option, like if like here, like how it is working, because if I enter HTTPS, right, and it is automatically redirected to HTTPS. It is not showing like you are not able to it's timeout. It's not showing. It will automatically go to the HTTPS. So that setting is like they have done it into the load balancer. So within the load balancer, as soon as the person is hit into the 1 second, let me cancel it. Let me remove it. It's only like forward the request to my target group. That is fine. And enable group level stickiness, no. And let's save the changes, and load balance view listeners. And if I had, so one thing is we have to add HTTPS as well. So we have to add the HTTPS as well, 80, and that will we have to forward the request. So that is fine. Here we have the one more action. We have to request to the target group. Okay, we are not able to attach the HTTPS because we don't have the certificate. So let's cancel it. But how to redirect to the HTTP? So click on it, add it. I think there is some option instead of forward. A forward action request to one or more target group. Okay, let's remove this. And if I select required fixed redirect, redirection is used to redirect client request from one URL to another. You must modify at least one of the following protocol: hostname, port. So no, this is not the redirect. Redirect is basically like whenever generally earlier we are like browsing facebook.com, and after that facebook.com will become facebook1.com, but still we are like browsing facebook.com. So automatically we will like redirect it to that page like facebook1.com, because now it is redirected to some another page. So that is the redirect option. We can do that redirect as well, but there is an option like return fixed response, no. And forward is just to the just on the, I think it's on the security group. 1 second, not on the security group. Go to the security group. This is the security group we have attached, and add inbound rules, all traffic, HTTPS. No, this is not the one. So let me check 1 minute. Yeah, that is the same option like which we are doing. So that is, so if we want like someone even use the HTTP, it should automatically like route it to the HTTPS. So we have to go to the load balancer. So under the listener, so it is configured because we don't want like anyone can't even use the HTTP. We want if anyone hit the HTTP, it automatically, so remove the existing one. We don't want the HTTP should go to the to our target group. We want HTTPS. So we want HTTP. If anyone come to the HTTP, it automatically go to the HTTPS. So that's it. So original host and the path and query and everything will remain same, and just save the changes. So automatically it will like go to the HTTPS. As soon as we hit, it will automatically go to the HTTPS. Right now, like our HTTPS itself is not configured, so it will not even like going to that. All right. Okay, so we have like attach our load balancer. We have we have created our certificate, but certificate is not issued because we know like the domain is like a node we have purchased, so we can delete that, and this we can attach our certificate with the load balancer. We see how to attach just within the listener. So within the listener, as soon as we added the another listener, that is the HTTPS 443. It will ask for the certificate which you want to attach. So let's delete that and go to the route 53 as well. Because once our website is hosted here, once we get the like the domain name, so then only it will work, because to purchase the domain name we have to pay. So that's why we can't do this practical. If someone has the domain name, then you definitely like try in this way. It will definitely going to work. All right. So one more thing, but how our website is going to know? So let's suppose we have route 53. So we attach the like certificate with the load balancer, and when we attach the certificate, it created CNAME record in the route 53. All right. But how this website www.something.com, it's no, I this only certificate is attached and there is a certificate entry. So how it this something.com, no, I have to go to this load balancer. So we have to create one more record, like we created the CNAME within the hosted zone. So if we create the hosted zone, so let's me create again something.com, create the hosted zone. So earlier, these two entries are the default entry, and when we like attach the CNAME, sorry, certificate manager, so it will automatically do the that entry, CNAME entry. So type is CNAME, and when we have to attach like to tell like this domain like www.something.com should routed, so we have to create a record. So there is a difference between the C record, C type, and the A type. So we have to create a and our record name is we have to tell our like record name, we have to tell our record value, and type is a. So a record type is a, we don't have to select the like C name. So root types to an IPv4 address and some AWS resources. So this will, and C type like to C type is a route traffic to another domain name and to the some AWS resources to the IPv4. So we have to create the A record. So once we create the A record, we will able to see like something.com. We can directly go to the something.com and it is going to work. So I know like it's very difficult to like understand without practical, but this is the only option I have. At least explore few of the option rather than doing nothing. At least few of the option, either using the diagram or either using some console options. But whole practical we can't do. Like there are so many videos over the YouTube, like those person have already purchased the domain name and they have like show end-to-end practical how to do that. So you can also, I will recommend you can watch those video, because they have purchased those domains. So you will see like the certificate is issued for them, and you will able to see like how they are routing to the HTTPS. Let's delete everything what we have created. So I have deleted this. So let's delete the load balancer as well. Let's delete the target group as well. But like from the exam point of view, we should know what is the use of the certificate manager, how we can create that. And we also see that how this facebook.com is working, right? How the http redirected to the https, so we have see a lot of option. So that is done. So go to the instances. So let's terminate that EC2 instance. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you.